सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। Hari Om. Today let us discuss as to what is Hinduism in very simple terms. To begin with, in our scriptures, we would never find the term Hinduism. Rather, the scriptures refer to us as Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana, eternal, Dharma, that law by which everything at a physical, emotional, intellectual, metaphysical, at a cosmic level, that which brings everything to balance is called Dharma. So, that eternal Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, how and when was it known as, today we call it as Hinduism? It is said that the Persians, when they visited India for their business, long time ago, maybe around 2,000–3,000 years ago, they had to cross a river called Sindhu. This river, for God knows what reason, was pronounced by these Persians as Hindu, and anything east of this river, the culture, tradition, customs, the religion, scriptures, they were often referred to as the Hindu culture, Hindu traditions, Hindu customs, the Hindu religion. From then on, we were recognized as Hindus. Now, to understand a religion, the theologists, they ask 4 questions. What is the definition of your God in your religion? What are the basic scriptures? And what are the commandments, the rules and regulations? And the last one, who is the prophet? Now, let us in brief understand these 4 concepts. What are our scriptures? Our scriptures are called the Vedas. Vedas are 4: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda and Atharva Veda. These were compiled into a written text by sage Vedavyasa, before whom it was handed down by one generation of guru to the next generation of the students in the form of Shravana. That is why it is called Shruti. Now, these scriptures are as ancient as humanity, and it is believed that it was God himself who has given this knowledge to Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. When I say God, I will have to now introduce the concept of who or what is this God, according to Hindus, of course. God is defined as Advaita Paramatma. Advaita, the non-dual, Paramatma, the supreme being. But traveling in West, I have been often asked as to whether our God is monotheistic or polytheistic. So, it would be easier if I put it in terms of monotheism and polytheism. Now, to understand that, the definition would be, understand Advaita Paramatma would be that monotheistic principle expressing in polytheistic God forms, meaning there is one supreme who has the capacity to express in multiple forms. So, with regard to the creation, when he wanted to create, when he, the supreme Paramatma, wanted to create, he became Brahma. After having created, to sustain it, to maintain it, he became Vishnu, and in order to regenerate, reprocess, he took the form of Shiva or Rudra. Usually it is defined as destruction, but we living in this Kali Yuga have got such a different opinion of the word destruction, which is pretty destructive in our mindsets. Hence I call it as recycling agency is Rudra. So now this Paramatma who can express as Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara does not stop there. In the form of this multiple creation that we have, he in fact expresses and expands in the form of every tiny little being that exists in this universe, meaning Charachara Jagat Sarvam, meaning everything in this universe is nothing but that Paramatma, that divine alone. Now that Paramatma expressing in the form of every human being, every plant, animal and the insentient is nothing but divine in essence, spiritual in essence. So this Paramatma who is beautifully indicated through the scriptures, Vedas, which is our prominent main text, but the Vedas are further understood in auxiliary texts. They are called the Itihasa, Purana and Smriti Granthas. Itihasa, the Sanatana Dharma has two Itihasas, or the Hindus have two Itihasas, which is the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Then we have the Puranas, which are 18 in number, and Upapuranas 18 in number again. So these 36 form the great works on various aspects of God and creation, which is called Purana. And the fourth one, Smriti, there are 14 Smriti Granthas. There are many other auxiliary Smriti Granthas also, but main of them are 14. One of the most prominent ones is called the Manusmriti. So I have tried to explain what is God, what is our scripture. Now the third, what is our commandment. Now these commandments are plenty. The entire Vedic literature defines do's and don'ts. But for our easy format to understand, in the Taittiriya Upanishad, we have a segment, the first segment called Sikshavalli. The last part of this Sikshavalli, last Anuvaka, last part of this Sikshavalli dwells on the message given by the Guru, the Master, to his students on the last day, which is the graduation day, Snataka Mahotsava. In that graduation ceremony, he gives an extensive list of do's and don'ts, wherein we find these famous mantras as Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara. Then we have Matra Devo Bhava, Pitra Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. Then as to how you have to perform your actions, what should you perform, what should be the intention with which you should perform, how should you lead your Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha in your life. In a very precise, concise manner, it has been explained. Now, in order to understand the further depth of it, one has to read through various Smriti Granthas to understand code of conduct. Now, last, who is the prophet? Now, these prophets, as explained or understood by the Western society, that there is one Jesus because of whom there is Christianity, or one Muhammad because of whom there is Islam. But whereas in the Hindu way of understanding, we have that Paramatma who has given this religion, this way of life, not just a view of life, comes forth in this universe in the form of a guru, and every generation is led to understand this beautiful message in the form of a human being who deciphers the knowledge of this scripture into tiny little bits that everybody can understand. So, if we can understand these four aspects, we understand our religion better. Now, in my next dialogue, I will talk about the further expansion of God principle, which is the monotheistic principle expressing as polytheistic God forms, into various other aspects of karma theory, reincarnation, incarnation, and various such other concepts. Until then, Hari Om.